Well, as China celebrates 70 years of Communist Party rule, thousands of people in Hong Kong have defied a ban to protest the milestone. Demonstrations have erupted across the semi-autonomous Chinese territory, and police have shot one anti-Beijing activist in the chest in what's believed to be the first injury from a live round. That's despite much of Hong Kong being under lockdown, after protesters pledged to use the anniversary celebrations as a platform to further their calls for democracy. Now, many in mainland China would normally use the week-long National Day holiday to make a trip to Hong Kong for a shopping spree. But with weeks of unrest, Hong Kong businesses are expected to lose out during what used to be their busiest retail season. Grace Lee reports.
6 months ago, Kevin Tang opened up a tailor shop here in Causeway Bay, the heart of Hong Kong's shopping district.
My shop was in Mong Kok before, but the rent there went up and the lease term was up, so I moved to Causeway Bay.
Then the protests hit. Anti-Beijing demonstrations have swept Hong Kong in the past 3 months, and most of the marches have started here in Causeway Bay. For merchants like Tang, that's meant closing up shop every weekend. But he's found a way around it. He works out of this suitcase on those days.
I have long-term customers, and when they order, it takes a month or two, so I'll be okay.
He can't say the same for other business owners in this mall, though. According to Hong Kong's Tourism Board, there's been a significant drop in visitors since the protests began. In August, their numbers fell 40% from a year earlier. That's hit businesses here in Causeway Bay particularly hard.
It's estimated that 1 in 10 storefronts in Causeway Bay are either closed or closing soon because of the pressure of the economic pressure they have, not being able to pay rent and things like that.
Tuesday marks the beginning of what's called Golden Week, a 5-day holiday in China, usually one of the busiest times of the year for Hong Kong. This year is different. Usually for Golden Week, this bustling area of Hong Kong sees over 1 million tourists from the mainland, armed with cash and a shopping list. And that's a big number considering the fact that Hong Kong's own population sits at about 7.5 million. Now, leading up to the big holiday, shop owners tell me that they've actually seen a 50% decrease in customers, and they're bracing for some heavy losses in the next week. It might not be a short-term problem. A policy change is also expected to cut into sales.
China has had a tax on luxury goods. And so when tourists would come down to Hong Kong, they could buy luxury goods, bags, and other things, and it would be kind of at a duty-free rate. So they're not paying the tax they would normally pay in mainland China, and so it would be cheaper. But that tax is going away soon. And so the difference in price based on tax will, in theory, be going away as well.
As protests in Hong Kong enter their 17th week, it may be that shop owners will have to brace for the possibility that future holidays here won't be as golden. Grace Lee, TRT World, Hong Kong.
And China economist, author and professor Anne Lee joins us again from New York. Hello again, Anne. Now, these anti-Beijing protests only seem to be intensifying. How do you think the situation will end?
I think they're going to continue for a while. And I think what's going to happen is that a lot of businesses in Hong Kong will slowly move out of the region and hollow out Hong Kong. Beijing has already offered various incentives for companies to relocate to places like Shenzhen. And so as businesses realize that, business is going to continue to be disrupted by these protesters, they're going to move out, and that, I guess, the weight of Hong Kong being a major financial center for the world is going to slowly, move away to other cities, either Shanghai or other cities in that greater Bay Area region that Beijing is trying to create. So it will probably peter out over months as people get tired of protesting, and other people, feel like they need to actually get jobs. And certainly a lot of billionaires in Hong Kong are getting the heat from Beijing to try to provide more jobs
Yeah.
and affordable housing to the younger kids who feel that they can't don't have an economic future in Hong Kong, and so that might also help ameliorate some of the tensions. But I see this protest phenomenon continuing for some time.
Okay, well, let's see what happens. Anne Lee in New York, thank you as always for your analysis.